Raiders fans, welcome back. I'm really excited to bring you an exclusive update today because training camp is officially underway for our Las Vegas Raiders, and there's so much to talk about. Before we jump into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash the like button to stay up to date with everything Raiders related. You don't want to miss any breaking news, exclusive interviews, or insider reports throughout the season. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the heart of what you really want to know. Today marks a big day as the veterans officially report to Raiders training camp. The rookies got their start a little earlier, on July 17th. But now it's time for the full team to get together, run through their physicals, check in with the coaching staff, and get ready for what promises to be a very competitive and fun preseason. Tomorrow, July 23rd, will be the first padded practice. And that's when we'll really start to see how this team is shaping up, both in terms of skill and chemistry, from everything we've seen so far in the offseason. Pete Carroll has made it clear that competition will be fierce, and that the team culture is all about not only working hard, but also enjoying the process. During OTA letters and minicamps, the coaches pushed the players to compete, but emphasized that having fun was just as important. It's that balance between toughness and camaraderie that can really propel a team forward. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the Raiders embody that as the season gets closer. Now, I want to hear from you. How many Raiders training camp practices have you been to in the past? And if you can, drop the year or two. For me, last season was pretty memorable. I got to attend a joint practice with the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium on August 14th, and it was one of the best times I've had covering the team. Being up close and seeing the players go at it on the field, feeling the energy in the stadium, and soaking in the vibe with fellow fans, it's something special. I'm hoping to get out to another practice this year, and if I do, I'll definitely share the experience with all of you. Since the veterans are here today, I thought it would be the perfect time to break down my top 10 veterans you need to watch this training camp. These are the guys I believe will have a big impact this season, either because of their potential, their past performance, or simply because their role on the team is going to be crucial. Keep in mind, you might have your own players to watch, and that's totally fine. Everyone's got their favorites. And part of the fun is debating who will shine the most this year. Starting at number 10, I have Malcolm Coons. He's coming off a tough year after suffering an ACL injury that sidelined him for the entire 2023 season. That injury was a real blow to the Raiders' defensive line depth, and I know a lot of fans were disappointed to lose him for so long. But Coons signed a one-year, $12 million deal to come back strong this season. And if he can replicate the kind of impact he had during the final 9 games of 2023, before his injury, the Raiders' defense could be a major force again. His recovery and performance will be one of the big storylines to follow. At number 9, we have Jermaine Pratt. He joined the team in June, right after the Raiders minicamp. And linebacker was definitely a position the team needed to address. The Raiders moved on from Roquan Smith, and Pratt is now part of the solution. Alongside Landon Roberts, he forms what could be a solid linebacker duo. But there are still questions about how they'll gel and perform under the new coaching staff. Watching how these two linebackers handle the increased responsibility will be fascinating. Coming in at number 8 is Alex Kappa. The Raiders signed him early this offseason, and he's a player that John Spanos really likes. Kappa has mostly been working at right guard, and while some people are already calling him the starter, I believe the competition at guard is wide open. Jordan Meredith, Aaron Munford, and even Dylan Parham are all in the mix for that right guard spot, so it's going to be an exciting battle. The offensive line is a crucial piece of this team, and the Raiders can't afford to just pick a starter based on familiarity with the coaches. It has to be the best player. Number 7 is Ja'Cory Bennett, entering his 3rd NFL season. He had a rough rookie year, but took a huge step forward last season, and honestly, he was one of the best defensive backs on the Raiders roster. He outperformed players like Nate Hobbs and Jack Jones in many ways. Bennett has been working behind Eric Stokes and Darian Porter. But if he can show the kind of form he had early last season consistently, he might force his way into a starting role. His health will also be key, as he struggled with shoulder injuries last year that limited his play. Number 6 on my list is Jeremy Chinn, a new addition at strong safety. If you think of players like Cam Chancellor, you get a sense of what Chinn brings to the table, that physical, hard-hitting presence who can play both linebacker and safety. The Raiders' defense has some questions at linebacker with Landon Roberts and Jermaine Pratt, but I believe Jeremy Chinn could be the leader. and captain that this defense needs. If he plays like I expect, he could be the glue that holds the defense together under coordinator Patrick Graham. Coming in at number 5, I want to spotlight Michael Mayer. He's a tight end who keeps coming up in off-season discussions for a couple of reasons. First, the Raiders are really trying to figure out how to best utilize him alongside Brock Bowers. This offense has the potential to be run-heavy but dynamic, with these two tight ends playing a big role. Second, Mayer himself needs to take a step forward, especially in blocking. We all know Bowers can be a game-changer, but if Mayer develops into the kind of tight end they hoped for when drafting him in the second round, this offense could be something special. His progression will be something to watch closely. At number 4, we have Eric Stokes, a cornerback signed to a one-year deal worth $4 million. Some people believe he might be the Raiders' top cornerback this year, and I think there's a good chance he starts alongside Darian Porter. The secondary has been an area of concern, so Stokes' performance will be crucial. His ability to step up and lock down receivers could make a huge difference in close games. Number 3 on my list is Tyree Wilson. Honestly, this is the time for Wilson to show that he can live up to his athletic potential. He has all the physical tools, but has struggled to put it all together consistently over the past few seasons. This new coaching staff, led by Pete Carroll, values competition and will push Wilson to earn his spot. He's been healthy, and the Raiders seem committed to finding the right role for him, whether that's at defensive tackle or defensive end. It's really now or never for Wilson to prove he can be a reliable contributor. Coming in at number 2 is Trey Tucker, a wide receiver who's been working hard to carve out his place in the Raiders' offense. He's been competing for snaps with Dante Thornton Jr., and with the Raiders drafting 3 wide receivers, Jack Bees, Thor, and Tommy Millott, there's a lot of competition in that group. Tucker has shown flashes as a dynamic athlete and has improved as a blocker, but he needs to translate that into consistent production on the field. The fact that the Raiders now have a legitimate quarterback in Geno Smith should help Tucker and the rest of the receiving corps take that next step. Finally, number 1 on my list of veterans to watch this training camp is none other than Geno Smith. Let's be real, if Geno isn't your top guy to watch, then maybe you haven't been paying attention. The Raiders have tried a lot of quarterbacks in recent years: Jimmy Garoppolo, Brian Hoyer, Aidan O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, but Geno Smith is the best quarterback this team has had in a long time. He gives the Raiders a real chance to be competitive every week. More than that, he brings leadership and a presence that the Raiders have desperately needed since moving on from Derek Carr. I know some fans might struggle with that transition, but Geno's skill set and personality could help fans move on and embrace the future. Watching how he gels with the wide receivers and tight ends will be one of the most important storylines this preseason. So there you have it, my top 10 veterans to keep an eye on as the Raiders kick off training camp. There are, of course, other players worth mentioning, like Christian Wilkins, who is still on the PUP list but expected to join practice soon once he passes his physical, or Colt Miller and Jacoby Myers, who might be in line for contract extensions. Lucky Foo's role on the defensive line is still a question mark with Wilkins out, and the free safety position is up for grabs with Isaiah Pola out. There are also some interesting battles on the offensive line, especially at guard between Alex Kappa, Jordan Meredith, Dylan Parham, and Aaron Munford. Max Crosby remains a fan favorite and a cornerstone of the defense, and we'll be watching to see if Darnell Mooney takes on a bigger role as the slot receiver. Finally, Demarion Richardson is a player to watch after recent praise from Dante Thornton Jr. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A storm seems to be brewing around Malcolm Coons, the promising defensive end, after his surprising and controversial departure from the Las Vegas Raiders. The buzz on social media has been relentless, with fans and analysts alike debating the reasons behind the sudden move and speculating wildly about what it means for both the player and the team. Coons, who had been seen as a rising star within the Raiders' defense, has left many puzzled and eager for answers. Rumors are swirling that the separation wasn't entirely amicable. Some insiders hint at internal conflicts and disagreements over Koonce's role and playing time. Others suggest that the Raiders might be planning a strategic overhaul of their defensive line, which could have made Koonce a casualty of a bigger scheme. Meanwhile, Malcolm himself has stayed largely silent. fueling even more speculation as fans scan every social media post for clues. What's caught attention is the sudden explosion of Koonce's activity online with cryptic messages and videos that some interpret as veiled criticisms of the Raiders' management. The former Raider seems to be using his platform to subtly voice his frustration, which has only intensified the chatter across sports forums and fan groups. Could this be a sign of deeper dissatisfaction, or just the venting of a player caught in the whirlwind of NFL business, adding fuel to the fire? There are murmurs that other teams have already expressed interest in acquiring Coons, seeing him as a valuable asset who could bolster their defensive front. This potential bidding war is already stirring excitement and speculation about where the talented defender might land next. Will he find a new home that appreciates his skills and offers him the playing time he desires? Or is this just a temporary setback in his career? As the situation unfolds, the Raiders' decision to part ways with Coons is being scrutinized heavily. Critics question whether letting go of such a promising player might come back to haunt the franchise. On the other hand, some supporters believe the move could open doors for fresh talent and a revamped defensive strategy. For now, the story remains a tantalizing mystery, with no official statements clarifying the exact reasons behind the departure or Malcolm Koonce's next steps. The NFL world watches closely, waiting for the next chapter in what could be one of the most talked about moves of the season. Will Coons prove his worth elsewhere? Or has this controversial exit marked a turning point in his promising career? Only time will tell. But the buzz shows no signs of dying down anytime soon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.